Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Mara's house, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's our 1001 episode. I'll never remember what episode we're on, but I will remember today it's 1001. Isn't that wonderful?
Fantastic.
And yes, that is the passcode for my iPhone. Auspicious number. That was a great show we did yesterday, wasn't it, with Radha Swami? We really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We just sat back and he talked, but that was great.
I think it was a good way to engage with him, is just give him these very general questions and let him go, you know?
Because there's sort of topics that we're all sort of dealing with.
Mhm.
Aging,
Mhm.
money,
Mhm.
friendship. What does
Yeah.
it mean?
Yeah. It was refreshing. I felt refreshed after hearing from him.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I felt like I have to dial it in. That's what my takeaway was. I got to dial this in.
What do you mean by that?
Dial in my spiritual life more.
You mean like get more focused?
Get more focused. Yeah.
How will you do that? I want to hear practically how you're going to do that.
None of your business. How about that, Kostuma? None of your business.
Because I mean, you just throw that stuff out, but we got to
I'm
get
just gonna dial
practical
it in.
here. What do they call that thing when you make like a goal, SMART goal or something like that? It's got to be like specific and something measured.
Explicit, measurable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think quality japa. That will help. Quality
Okay.
japa. I'm a little low quality japa lately.
How will you make it higher quality?
How are you?
I'm not the one.
Who are you?
I'm trying to help here. I'm not attacking you. Just
I got to make it my japa more prayerful and less rote.
Yeah. How
Think
so?
about that.
What will make the difference?
So that's actually how. Make it more prayerful. Make it like a prayer.
And that's a wish. That's just a wish you're throwing out there in the world. But like practically, what are you going to do to assure that that's going to happen?
I don't know. I didn't think that far through this thing.
All right, just trying to help, Raghunath. I'm not
for me,
pressure.
it's downtime. Make my downtime more Krishna conscious.
What is your downtime?
Downtime is like driving in the car, walking down. If I listen to something, make it a little bit more Krishna conscious.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to hear. Mara, what about you? What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, what are you doing? You can't knit your life back to Godhead.
I'm trying. I'm gonna try.
I guess you can, perhaps.
Maybe we'll see.
She does knit my deities like little chutters to wear. That's knitting your way back to Godhead.
It is.
Yeah. No one can hear you, Mara, unless you speak in the mic.
You want some announcements?
Announcements?
Sure.
Yeah. We have an asana class with Josh Kane for our Patreon members at 10:30 this morning, and Bhakti Recovery Group meetings today at 12:30 and 1 this afternoon.
Tomorrow is Q&A, 8 a.m. You can sleep in Saturday, right?
And we can email your questions to wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. And do you want to talk about our guest on Sunday?
Oh yeah, we got a great guest, Shubha Vilasprabhu. He's a
Prolific author.
He's prolific author. He's like a lawyer. He's one of those. You meet these. When I meet these devotees, I just get to be like, "What am I doing with my life? Why?"
Well, you have to
hell?
understand, Raghunath, over there in Mumbai, in that Chowpatty temple, the Radha Gopinath temple, which was, we had Radha Swami here yesterday. That was a temple that he kind of spearheaded. He kind of built from the
nothing.
ground up.
Yeah.
But they, he would go, and then they would go into different colleges, like the best colleges in Mumbai.
The best colleges in the world, Bubba.
Best in IIT and the medical colleges there. And they would just get these super high level people, and they were all the monks in the temple. And now some of them are still monks, and they're writing books. They're doing huge and then some of them, like Shubha Vilas, they moved on from monkhood, and they went into writing books and teaching. And these are people that we didn't go to college. Right? They're
like the school of hard knocks, Kastuba.
So he's I remember him as a monk in the temple, and now he's it's crazy.
He's still a monk. He's still a monk, but he's like, because he does so much.
He's just wearing white cloth and.
Yeah, but because he does so much out in the world, he got an apartment on the outside.
Interesting, very interesting. I was noting as I was passing through the airports in India this year that you walk into a bookstore in the airports in India, and I guess it's
like
a
regular
bookstore anywhere in India. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one, Jay Shetty. Who's that? Disciple of Radha Swami. Yep. Right. Number two, Gorgopal, disciple of Radha Swami. Number three, Gorgopal, disciple of Radha Swami. Then further down the list, you see
Gauranga
Prabhu, Shubha Vilas. It's like they're putting out. This is significant.
This is significant. These are like best-selling books in India and in America. Jay Shetty's in America too.
In the world, yeah.
Who should I get to write? Who should I get to write the introduction to my book? I need someone bigger than me.
Bigger, like
don't take it personal. It's not you. Don't take it personal. It's not you. I need someone like big.
I think maybe someone from the music world would be, or Joe Rogan. Why don't you get Joe Rogan to do it?
He's not gonna write it.
He won't do it for you.
He's not gonna write it.
Never do it.
Gwen Stefani, that would be good.
Yeah, no, maybe someone like I don't know. I have to think about it later. Now's not the time for this, Raghunath.
Not the time. I don't know. Sometimes our message board lights up with good ideas. Moby could be good. He would do it.
That'd be a good one. Okay, Raghunath, Shubha Vilas on Sunday. He's gonna
Spice Girls. How about the Spice Girls? Sporty Spice. She would do it.
What are you gonna ask him about?
Shubha Vilas or Sporty Spice?
Shubha Vilas, Prabhu.
Oh, you know what? He is a master storyteller. He knows so many pastimes. It's impressive. Matter of fact, yesterday on our little Ram Navami, we had a little program at Super Soul Farm last night. We just read from one of his books on Lord Ram, a children's book of Lord Ram. Just my reading caliber, and it was great, wasn't it? It was great.
It was great. Okay.
It was great.
So you're gonna ask him to tell some stories?
Yeah, we'll have him tell a story. We'll get a little bit of his background. Have just tell stories. He knows a lot of these Bridge Bossy stories too that you just don't know.
That's what you're into.
Oh yeah, I'm into that.
Okay.
Little stories about Krishna you don't hear about, but he's chock full of good stories. Yeah.
All right, that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into Bhagavatam now, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else we have to say? I think we're good. All right. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat shevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
All
That would be
right.
great to get Cher to write the book. You wouldn't do it.
Okay, Raghunath, let's get back. Now, we were at a really wild place when we left off before yesterday's show.
Yes, we were.
That the saintly, but covered. Sometimes it said like he's like fire covered by smoke.
Yeah.
You know, this
He's hot.
Jada Bharata. He's like a incredibly insightful, spiritual being. He's intelligent, he's detached, but he's posing as a dullard, right?
Yeah.
And he's just getting disrespected by everyone, but he's on such a high level of detachment and deep absorption that he's unaffected by it. It doesn't disturb his mind at all. People say, hey, you be the scarecrow, you spend all night out there in the out there in the
Right.
fields. Okay, if that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. And he just goes
I
over
play
there.
like a dullard when I get pulled over by a cop. I'm
I
like,
don't know what happened.
What?
Is-
Oh, what?
Is going
Oh.
95 frowned upon in this?
Is that
on this
good? I
highway?
thought there was no speed limit on this road.
And you know, he was mistreated by his brothers, but then he really got mistreated by these dacoits, by these band of criminals.
That
found
was a
him-
crazy, you know, it went from like, okay, I understand this. Okay, yeah, I had older brothers too. They were sort of like, they did some torturous things to me. And then it went to like, what? You were like human trafficked and they were going to be offered as a sacrifice. That's something right out of like the far right handbook of what's going on, you know, in Hollywood. They're going to take you, they're going to offer you in sacrifice.
Well, yeah, it got real dark real quick, as we said. And so these dacoits tried to make an offering of him, kill him for the pleasure, you know, as an offering to the
Kali
goddess
Ma.
Kali. Now they were devotees of Kali. They said we can worship Kali and get the things of this world that we want for her. And they were very tamasic in their consciousness, and they were attracted to her, you know, violent tamasic. You know, she's destructive. You know.
Well, you know, my mystic friend, who you know, I won't mention the name, but that mystic friend of mine who had those powers to understand people's names and what they do with their life. He understood past, present, and future. I said, how did you get these cities? And I said, were you born? Because some people are born with them. He can see people's, what's that? He could say, he understood their names as soon as they came in the room, and then he could tell them about their life.
Okay.
And so I said, how do you get this? Is it a gift from birth? And he said, no. He said, after I went to university, I worshiped Kali for 10 years straight.
Wow.
And then after that, he said, Raghunath, you wouldn't believe it. Anyone who came to my home, I would understand everything about them. I could say their name. I could say their occupation. I could say where they're from. He said, I don't even know where
You
it's
feel very
coming from.
naked in front of this person?
Huh?
Do you feel very naked when you're in front
Very
of this
naked. Are you kidding? Knows everything going through my head. He even knows my own cynicism towards him. And then he said something very interesting. But
Okay.
he said, he was getting cities he didn't even know he had. And so then he's like, he wasn't praying for the cities. All these cities started coming him from Kali.
When you say
What if I-
cities, let everyone know what you mean.
City means like some type of mystical perfection,
some mystic power, some mystic insight.
some mystical power. But then he said something really creepy. He said, you know, and then one day this guy came over my house, and he was very cruel and rude. And I thought ill thoughts about him.
Okay.
And when he walked out the door, he fell down a flight of stairs and like broke his legs. And he thought,
I did that.
I've done this. This is an aparad. This is wrong. I've taken some mystical power and I've used it for bad. I didn't even know how to control it. He goes, from now on, I'm no longer worshiping Kali.
And then he moved to Radha Kund.
Then he worshipped. Yeah, we're not supposed to say.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he said he worshipped. And then he said,
Radha.
I said, then I started worshiping Shiva because I needed peace in my life. I was like, oh, okay. Then why do you worship Krishna now? He goes, because I love Krishna. Because Because Krishna is so adorable.
Okay. So in any case, these dacoits, they were attracted to her destructive nature, and people worship Kali commonly to get the things of this world. Don't write me a ton of YouTube comments saying, "Hey, you don't know anything about Kali." No, that's the general thing. You go to Bengal and you see what it's really all about. They have what were those prayers that are chanted to Kali? Very popular, like Dehi. What is it? It's almost like the
How do you know
opposite
these
of
Kali prayers?
because Prabhupada talks about it. It's almost like, and I've been to Bengal. It's almost like the opposite of the Shikshastika prayers, like where it's not danam, not janam. It's like danam, janam. Give me
Right.
give me followers, give me wealth, give me power, give me sex, give me, it's like, dear Kali,
You
give me
know
these
what?
things.
I had a friend. He's a devotee now, but because Prabhupada talks about these Kali worshippers of Bengal. And so this guy, he was one of those guys that's like never became a devotee, but was hanging out with devotees for a long time. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to join one of these Kali ashrams. And he joined the ashram. And they say, you want to join the ashram? Okay. And they poured him liquor and gave him meat. And they said, Kali Prasad. And they just gave it to him.
Yeah. So what we got into the concept a little bit. As Vaishnavas, as worshippers of Sri Krishna, we see Kali as a divine manifestation of Krishna's Shakti, right? That like the Adi Shakti, that from is Radha. And she's like, and she becomes, this is spoken about in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad and the Narada Pancharatra and texts like that indicate that, that Radha is the para-shakti, right? She's like the supreme or the ultimate Shakti. And from her expand Laxmi, Saraswati, all the gopis of Vrindavan, the gopis of Vrindavan, Laxmi, Saraswati, Durga, and then Kali is a manifestation of Durga. Like they say, there are 10 manifestations of Durga. Like I forget what they're called, Mahadasa Vidya, I think. And so and Kali, like even Durga, who's like, she's the Devi of the material realm. She's kind of like the correction officer of the material world, incredibly powerful.
The correction officer.
She's a correctional officer. And but even her with her incredible power and, she's kind of peaceful, but like Kali's the most ferocious manifestation of that corrective energy, you could say, And so in any case, we bow our heads to Kali. We bow our heads to Kali. You have a job to do, and you do it on behalf of the Lord, and we respect you for that. But when it comes to where we place our heart, where we really want to bring our minds and our hearts, that's to that original manifestation, which is manifesting as devotional and loving. That's Sri Radha and the different and goddesses like the gopis of Vrindavan and Lakshmi, like that. So in any case, they're into that. They're worshiping Kali with these dark motives, and they think, oh, we will offer Kali this human being. They find Jada and they bring him there, and we read how they did. They bathed him and they dressed him up. They did a whole thing, right? And he's the story was illustrating his level of detachment, right? We don't imitate it, but we draw principles from it. And so he's just like, okay, I'm just totally dependent on God. I don't even put any effort into it. I'm just
sure. You want to bathe me? You want to put some oils on my body?
You're going to offer me? Okay, if that's what you want to do, we'll see what happens. I can't
stop thinking about that Looney Tunes episode where Bugs Bunny is in the pot and they're saying, yeah, come over for dinner. What are we having for dinner? You. It was like, it's sort of like they're treating him very nicely, but he's the actual
right.
offering they're about to kill.
Okay. And so then as they're taking out the sickle,
yeah,
and they're about to decapitate him, out of the deity of Durga. By the way, I once heard someone mentioning, it's an interesting thought, like when we hear about the deity of Krishna begin to like manifest pastimes,
Yeah.
It's like the deity itself just like walks off the altar.
Yeah, we
You know?
hear these things about Krishna. Krishna just.
But when it was Durga, it's not that the deity just jumped. The deity broke.
Oh, okay.
Interesting, right? And she
Yeah.
and then she manifested. Anyway, I'm sure there's some
But there's a lot
more
of
esoteric meaning to that.
breaking stories about
Yeah.
Devi worship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course it wasn't just her, but with her, all these witches and demonesses also came,
They
and
were
they
just
started
tearing it up,
tearing things apart, killing all the killers, and of course drinking their blood. And that's where we last left off.
Okay,
In our last episode, we were talking about drinking blood at
Okay.
6 a.m.
Right. So again, like this
I
is
tuned into your episode for some uplifting, inspiring quotations, and all I got was a bloodbath.
no. But this was the last verse, and we wanted to revisit this verse. Okay, this is the last verse of the 9th chapter.
If you're new to the show, we don't talk about stuff like this.
Well, that's my point. We accept that this stuff happens, and we respect Kali.
Yeah, it's like, yes, there are metaphysical things of this world that we don't even mess with, and we don't even go down those paths.
like-
We're not saying those things don't exist; they do exist. But Vaishnavas or worshippers of Vishnu, it's a whole different path of the metaphysical world until it gets out of this world. It's not just like subtle things of this world, mysticism of this world. It's beyond mystic things of this world. It's out of this world.
It's like, anyone can see that there's a lot of ghastliness in this world, right?
Sure.
And it's not that the supreme god or goddess that they're directly involved in that. They're just full of loving pastimes. But they can expand, and they can take on other, delegate, carrying out, there's always someone responsible for it, someone that's managing it. Just like there's a prison, there's got to be the correctional officers, there has to be the warden, there has to be someone in charge of it. And so within this broader realm of, you want to call it Hindu thought, but Vedic thought, it's understood. Yeah, there's a manifestation that appears very ghastly and takes on the. Prabhupada writes actually that this energy of Kali manifests as wars in this world, right? There's nothing more ghastly than war. It's just like,
yeah, that's ghastly,
and that's a manifestation of Kali's energy. So anyway, she appears to protect. You see, and this is interesting. They were her devotee. Like they were like, we are devoted to you. We want the thing, dear Kali, give us the things of this world, and we will give you these sacrifices. Very dark tamasic idea of religion.
It's tamasic ritual.
Yeah.
By the way, on the way to school yesterday, I brought Tarun and I explained the 3 gunas to him.
Okay.
I thought that was good. He's really in this learning stage of life. 3 gunas.
Okay. The mind's wide open right now.
Can I squirrel this right now?
All
Check out how I explain the gunas.
All right.
Things of this is child. It's good to try to explain things to children because children you got to be real simple, get to the essence.
Okay.
So I said things in goodness, sattva, they appear good and they're good for you. I said like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Apples are good, they appear good, they smell good, and they're good for you. That's goodness. And then I said, but more times of day, one would be a good time to meditate. He said morning time. Yeah, morning time. So morning time is in the mode of goodness. And then we did it like, animals. What animals like eat grass? What are non-violent animals? He's like cow, deer. Yep. I said passion, like Maharaj, like you call this Maharaj. Raj is a doer in this world. Raj is passion. So passion things appear fun, appear pleasurable, but you got to work. They make you work a little bit. They appear good, not that good for you. Or sometimes they exhaust you a little bit. And then I used, analogies like, it's hard to meditate in the daytime. Tamasic got pretty good. Doesn't appear good and not so good for you. Like I said, like a carcass of an animal. Doesn't appear good. It's hideous. Not good for you, right? And when would you find like a drunken brawl? When do people go out and get drunk? When do people go to a bar? And he was like, nighttime. I was like, yeah, nighttime. And what does a bar look like? Is it a pretty place? Is it no, it's sort of dark place or yeah.
Yeah. So like you're kind of aligning them with something, how to kind of give them the radar.
Yeah,
pick it
it's
up.
a good way to understand. I think you should do a whole workshop on the gunas.
Well, this is the way I describe it, Raghu.
Well, how do you do it? You got to talk to a child now.
Okay, Raghu, you ready?
I'm not the child.
Okay, I thought you were the child. So, no, just that there are three different energies, and they each affect us in a different way, right?
Yeah.
The sattva guna, the mode of goodness, when we're in contact with it, it makes us feel content.
Mm.
I have what I need. Everything is. There's a happiness in that contentment, and also makes the mind lucid. We can think clearly. We can think deeply. Okay. Now, when we're affected by the energy of the Rajaguna, the mode of passion, it's almost the opposite of contentment. I'm not content. I'm not going to be happy until I get something that I don't have right now. I'm not complete. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not content. I need something. I'm going to work for it. I need to get something. I won't be happy until I get it.
Mm.
Okay. And then tamasic it's like destructive energy, right? It's laziness and destruction. It's a darker energy, even like self-destruction. It has that element, destruction, self-destruction.
I can even throw addiction into tamasic because
Well, addiction is
he understands
destructive.
addiction because I said, you're addicted to that video game. He's like, yeah, and he'll go through these. Yeah, I know, I am a little addicted to it.
It's destructive, right? It has a
Yeah.
destructive element. So here's the idea that everything within the material realm is a combination of these three energies. But within any object, one of the energies predominates, and its influence radiates from that object.
Mm.
Okay, so everywhere we're going, there's like this radiation of these different influences, and they're infiltrating our consciousness. They're affecting our thoughts. They're affecting our moods. They're affecting our attachments. And unless you realize that, you're walking through a realm, and you're getting your mind is being invaded all the time. We're being influenced by these energies, but the yogis understand these energies, and they especially take shelter of that sattva guna because it brings them contentment and clarity, which is the platform through which you're going to be able to practice yoga, through which you're going to be able to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
I like that
The
too.
radiation, you like that one?
I think it's very good to practice explaining things to little kids because you have to really understand it deeply.
Okay.
Like you do with all your kids' classes you give.
I love doing those kids' classes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now,
All right,
back
sorry
to
to squirrel that.
Now back to Jada Bharata. So now the goddess Kali has manifested along with her cohorts, and they tore the whole place up. They killed all of the dacoits, and Jada Bharata's just there like, okay,
What the hell's going on?
got protected.
He's probably like, Haribo.
so now Shukadev Goswami wraps up the chapter speaking to the King Maharaj Pariksit, and this is the basis of Bhagavatam, this their conversation. And he says to him, those who already know, he's going to give a list of the qualities of people that are always protected by Krishna. Okay.
Mm.
He says, those who already know that the soul is separate from the body, that's fundamental, right? You got to know that I'm not this body, I'm the spark within it, who are liberated from the invincible knot in the heart. In other words, I've given up my attachments to this world, right? I've let go, right? Who are always engaged in the welfare activities for all living entities, and who never contemplate harming anyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we got to work on. Right? Know that I'm not the body, that I'm the soul. Let go of all the knotted attachments in the heart. Be engaged in the welfare of all living entities, and never contemplate harming anyone. All right? Those people, they're always protected. It actually says here, sakshat, directly protected. Like it's not even like we were saying that like Krishna's up playing in his divine realm in adventures of love. When it comes to everything that's going on here in the material realm, that's delegated to different officers. But for these people, he's directly involved, right?
This is sort of where the devotees of Lord Vishnu, we drop our pin. So this is where we're going. This is where we're heading. And once we start going outside of these parameters, we're not going to the set compass point. We want to go here. Okay, I'm being a little cruel. I want to strike back at someone. I want a little revenge. I want them to feel my power, but whatever it is, we're going off our course here. And these are great parameters to put around our spiritual journey.
And here it's saying that people like this are directly protected, but we can also understand, like, well, I sit to meditate and I can't meditate. You cultivate these qualities, then you get the peaceful mind. Then you'll be able to absorb that mind. Right? So then he says, these people, they are always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who carries his disc, the Sudarshana Chakra, and acts as supreme time to kill the demons and protect his devotees. The devotees always take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, at all times, even if threatened by decapitation, they remain unagitated.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah. And then he says, for them, this is not at all wonderful. It's like when you have the realization as deep as Jada Bharata had it, it's like, you can decapitate me, no problem.
Yeah.
It's like
So somebody jumped out of someone broke out of the deity. Big deal. Yeah. So now whoever jumped out of the deity has a bunch of demonesses with her. Big deal. Harry Bull. Hey, okay. Now he's cutting the head off all these Kali worshippers. Big deal. Now she's drinking their blood. Big deal. She's probably like sitting there in complete peace.
Yeah.
Covered in his
not at all wonderful
oil and flower garland. Hare Krishna.
Now there's a short commentary. I'm going to read it, Rogan, and then I'm going to have a question for you. It's going to be a tough question, okay?
All right.
Get ready.
I'm easy to stump. Don't worry.
Okay, so Robert writes, these are some of the...
If your goal is to stump me today.
That's not my goal. My goal is to mine the nuggets of wisdom that you have.
Mine more nuggets.
I don't know if I want to phrase it that way. These are some of the great Prabhupada writes. These are some of the great qualities of a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First, a devotee is firmly convinced of their spiritual identity. And I'm not the body, I am the soul.
By the way, that's a great thing to say in the morning when you wake up. Bow down. My dear Lord Krishna, I'm your servant. My dear Lord Ram, I am your servant. You make these declarations.
This body is yours.
This body is yours. My thoughts are yours. My words are yours. My actions are yours. What would you like from me today, my dear Lord Krishna? That's a great morning statement.
Well, do you know that one? I have that book. I may have mentioned this before, but I have this. I found this old. You would have loved this, Raghunath.
Tell me.
I was in Ras Bihari Lal bookshop one day, which
place.
Is a bookstore down in Vrindavan, and they got like all kind of far out books in there, right?
Yeah, great books in there. Yeah.
And I found this old book, like it looked like it was like 50 years old. It was just like old, like like little bug eaten.
I love those
really
old
dusty.
Before there were like computers, India used to make these really funky books where like the printing was like. The E would be backwards or something like that. They were like really budget and
you're
cool.
like, oh, this is a great book.
I still got some cool old Vaishnava books that were printed in that real crappy binding.
Well, so it's a book like that. It's a pretty like big, like, not thick, but like large, like large book.
Yeah.
And it's called something, I forget the exact title, but something like the lifestyles or something like that of the Sri Vaishnava Brahmanas, I think. It's something like that is the title of the book.
Okay.
And it goes through a whole day of exactly how they live their day, all the mantras they chant, all the rituals they perform.
It was like an academic book or something? Studying?
I mean, I think it was written by, I think in a sense it was an academic book, but it was, I think it was just kind of like a bit of a guidebook for Sri Vaishnavas in a sense.
Okay.
And, so it mentions how they wake up. Right. And so you wake up and the first thing, even like as you wake up, as you're lying there in the bed and you open your eyes, you chant this mantra. I'm probably some mantra to Om Namo Narayana. I forget exactly what they said. But then it said, before they step off the bed, right, and put their first foot on the ground for the day, they say a mantra.
To the earth?
To the earth. So first of all, they're not going to put their left foot down first. It's going to be the right foot out of respect to the earth.
Never put your left foot down first, Mayor. What do you put? You always got to put your right foot down.
But now think of this, because like when most of us wake up, is
offensive left foot.
But
Mara walking around with your dirty left foot.
When most of us wake up, we're just like in this cloudy tamasic state of consciousness. We're just like blah, you know. But they're no, they're right off the bat, you know. And I think some months ago we read the good qualities of a dog. Do you remember that? We read on the show. We read loyalty was one of them, but another one was when they wake up, they're instantly aware. You know. You wake up a dog, maybe not Gus.
Most
not Gus. but dogs are like that. They can wake up and immediately be aware of what's going on, you know. So the Brahmanas, they're cultivating that kind of clarity of thought. So as soon as you wake up, you're chanting the mantras, and before they put that right foot on, they're not going to roll out of bed just anyway. They're going to place their right foot very consciously on the earth. But before they do, they chant this mantra that basically says to Mother Earth, "Dear Mother Earth, please forgive me for placing my feet on you. You know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I need to, you know, but because of just the practicality of it, that I need to walk on you. I pray that all of my steps today may be in the service of your Lord."
I like this.
Right. This. Yeah. So that please forgive me for stepping on, but my aim is to offer every step I take today in the service of your Lord, Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu. So please forgive. And then they place the right foot. Now just think about this kind of mental discipline, you know, like what it does to your mind if you begin to think this way all the time. You know, where do our thoughts go first thing in the morning? They can go so many
mental discipline first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm going to train my mind how to think. I'm going to move through this world respectfully. I'm going to move through this world realizing that every movement of mine is meant to be an offering in life, you know, and they're training themselves to think that way. Pretty cool, I think, right? So how did we get here?
I wrote this prayer for spoken by Lord Ramachandra from the Ramayan in my Instagram feed yesterday.
All right.
By the way, a side little squirrel is if you want to know what's going on at the farm and what we're doing with Wisdom of the Sages retreats and stuff like that, you can go to my link tree in my bio of Raghunath Yogi in my Instagram.
You're excited about that link tree.
I am. I really feel like I've done something technical with myself. Figured out how to use Linktree. Okay. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord Ram, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Nice little. Dear Lord Ram, from this moment on, I'm yours. So I'll say that today. And those are things you can recalibrate your brain. Every morning you wake up, say these things. In the course of the day, you say these things. My dear Lord Ram. Talk to yourself. Stop where you're walking. Just stop and say that to yourself.
Just give it a try. Right?
Give it a try.
Okay, so we were reading this commentary, and then I'm going to ask you a question, Raghunath.
Okay.
Okay. So they never identify with the body. They're firmly convinced that the spirit soul is different from the body. Consequently, they fear nothing. Even though his life may be threatened, he is not at all afraid. He does not even treat an enemy like an enemy. Mm-hmm. Such are the qualifications of the devotees. This is the bhakti yogis. This is where you think you're into bhakti. Well, you got to be thinking. Bhakti? You got to start to think, well, I need to become more like this.
Yeah.
I don't have any enemies in this world.
Yep. If you've got an enemy, you should understand.
You're not there yet.
Failing the bhakti thing.
Okay.
You're getting a D in bhakti.
Such
grades up.
Such are the qualifications of the bhaktis. Of bhakti.
I'm serious. I need to hear these things because sometimes I get a little angry
on a regular basis.
I got to think, well, I'm failing the course.
I don't have that. Okay.
You know what I mean? That's why you need these markers.
Okay, now here we go. Devotees are always fully dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Lord is always eager to give them all protection in all circumstances. All right?
Yeah.
Now here's the question. Well, it doesn't seem like that. Look at Jatayu. Right? He got cut.
Look at Jatayu.
Right?
Cut off his wings. You're saying, I get it. That your example was my example for your example for see why he doesn't protect you is my example why he does.
Why
protect
he does.
You.
Okay, now
right?
Okay, now hold that for a second. I just want to read one more thing here too.
Go ahead.
Okay, because towards the towards the end, not at the end, but towards the end of the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, do you know what I'm going to say? Kaunteya
Pratijanahi.
Pratijaniti
Pranashyati.
Ne Bhakta Pranasyati. O son of Kunti, O Arjuna, declare boldly, say to the world,
My devotee never fails. That's a
my
great verse.
devotee never perishes. He's never Pranasyati, he never perishes, right? So how do we understand this? That Krishna is always protecting, but it seems like Jatayu is going down. It seems like even people that I know, sometimes they are.
This is one you have to really tattoo on your heart.
Okay, let's see what you got.
That
Heart
my
tattoo.
devotee never fails. That Krishna is saying, if you're my devotee, things may seem externally like, oh man, he's going down. They're not going down. Krishna's got special interest in the devotee. Even when things appear like, there tends to be a desire when you get into bhakti, like, I want to die romantically. I'm on the bank of the Ganga. Kaustuba's putting a tulsi in my mouth. Mara's chanting in the background on cartels. The Wisdom of the Sages community. They have a
It's all
white sheet
there.
pulled up to my neck.
Singing in beautiful harmony.
Oh, Raghunath is leaving his body. Everyone chant to him. No, it might not happen that way. It might not happen
Okay.
as beautiful, lovely as that. It might be. There's thousands of horrible ways we could leave this world. When you hear about Jatayu, now Jatayu was a great devotee of Lord Ram. This was Kaustuba's example.
Mhm.
Jatayu was a great devotee, but he was an old bird.
Culture. He's a bird.
Vulture. And so he wasn't even like he wasn't like a beautiful hummingbird. He wasn't like a parrot or a quetzal or a peacock. He was an old vulture, considered the ugliest of birds by some.
Okay.
If there is a caste system, it would be the lowest caste of birds. And so anyway, but he was a great devotee of Lord Ram, so he didn't care. And he flew up high in the sky and said, I know I'm old, Ravana, but if you think you're going to take Lady Sita, not on my watch. And so he fought Ravana, and they had a pretty good fight too. They destroyed Ravana's chariot, and they fell to the ground. The fight continued on the ground, went on for an hour. But as the fight went on, Ravana got stronger, and Jatayu started weakening. He was old. And finally,
He put up a really good fight.
a great fight. He finally grabbed him by the throat, and he cut off his wings and his feet, and he left him for dead. So when Ram did go to find Sita with Laxmi walking through the forest, they saw this bloody, feathery mess, and they thought, what is this beast? Maybe this beast has killed Sita. But they heard this so-called beast, this beautiful devotee Jatayu, just going, Ram, 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 I am not a beast. I'm your devotee, Jatayu. And then all of a sudden they rushed to Jatayu's side. He lifted Jatayu and said, Jatayu. And Jatayu said, I failed you, Ram. I failed you in my service, right? Sometimes it seems like, well, I have a way I want to die. I have a way I want to serve. I have a way. Sometimes we have a great desire to serve and it never manifests. Guess what? There is no loss. There is that desire to want to serve counts as service. So in the same way, he wanted to save Lady Sita. He didn't. He failed in that sense. But look how he failed. He died. He left this world in Ram's arms. So we're all being embraced with that desire to serve Ram. We are all being embraced by Ram. There can be no loss. And even if you die in that consciousness, and someone might argue, no, I'm not going to die in that consciousness. I know a guy who died in a car accident. I know a guy who died, in this horrible way, got hit in the head with a baseball bat, whatever it is. He fell down a flight of stairs. I got news for you. Krishna or Lord Ram is right there with that person, entering into their mind when they need them most. You can't cheat Krishna. You can't just be like, I'm going to live this crazy life, and then at the end, I'll just chant. You can't cheat the universe like that. And in the same way, you can't be cheated either. Krishna will enter the mind. He understands the mind of the devotee.
Oh, that was a great answer. So okay.
Was it?
I,
Okay.
yeah, it's very consistent. I have this from Radha Swami. He spoke
Right.
this
Am I
in
thinking like Radha Swami?
I think so. So he says, so when Krishna says that my devotee will never perish, right? Name bhakta pranasyati in Bhagavad Gita. This is what he means. He is not saying that his body will not be overcome. He is not saying that the demons may not even kill him.
Mm-hmm.
He is saying that his faith, his devotion will never be disturbed under any condition. And in the end, he'll go back to God. The protection Krishna is speaking of is the protection of the soul.
Hmm. You know, we should take care of. You still there?
Yeah.
We should take care of our. He got so silent so quick. We should take care of our health, of course, you know. But then you have these guys who are like these longevity enthusiasts, like I'm going to be a centenarian, or I'm going to be. Guess what? You might not be a centenarian. You could eat all the right foods or the organic veggies, take all the, supplements, take all the superfoods, and you might still die an untimely death. There's no way to necessarily guarantee the longevity of your body. We're not saying don't be healthy. We're saying be as healthy as you can, because your body's a gift and we're meant to give back with this gift. But you can guarantee that you will be in Krishna's heart if you use this life to always meditate on Krishna. To the degree that you meditate on Krishna, Krishna now is meditating deeper and deeper on you. And so he's got you. He's got your back. And we should be firmly convinced, to the degree that I'm moving towards Krishna, he's moving towards me. And I think we've experienced that reciprocation. People experience that reciprocation.
I think so too.
Don't sweat it. It may not be the most romantic death you're planning, right? And it may not be when you're 100. You may not live to 100. That's okay. But, stop worrying about it. Just worry about your duty. And then when it is time, and no one's like ready for, today's the day? Today? Yeah, today's the day. There'll be a different type of peace in your heart and mind. It's not going to be a ghastly fear like it was. It's going to be a sweet change of bodies or a shedding of the body. It's not going to be like, oh my God. It's not going to happen.
Okay. So thank you for that, Ragnar. That was a great answer. You see, I wasn't trying to stump you. I just wanted to get that kind of stuff out of you.
I wonder if Mara's got some deep wisdom for us today.
No, you're cutting out a little early. You see?
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to be punctual.
No. Well, I was just going to share this. So now something's been completed, and over the weekend we'll do our Q&A and we'll do our interview. So when we come back on Monday, really what we've been reading so far has been framing out and preparing us for what we're about to start next week, right? Which is that Jada Bharata. Now we've heard about how great he is.
Yeah.
We know his background, right? We know his determination. We know his purity. We know his devotion. We know his tolerance. We know how special he is, because most people Durga does, or Kali doesn't appear for and save them, so he's obviously like a special, rare individual. And when we pick up next week, he's going to have a conversation where he's not recognized. He's going to be under more abuse. People are going to be abusing him again, and then this king is going to get all sarcastic with him,
Yeah.
And then he's finally going to open up his mouth. All right, he's finally going to speak.
And you're going to hear what's been bottled up inside for a lifetime.
Bottled up. He lets it all. No, it's not like that. It's not like he's like, he just starts like venting or anything like that. No, actually it's described that with a smile on his face, even though he's being insulted, he very calmly begins to speak wisdom.
The absolute truth.
Yeah. And the king's going to be like, whoa, I made a big mistake. You are someone special. And then they go, then I need to consult with you. And then so for next chapters are going to go on with the conversation between the king and Jada Bharata, and we're going to learn a lot.
We're going to learn a lot. Yeah.
Weeks.
Sometimes people, yes. Anyway, my consciousness, my vision, my eyesight drifted over towards the message board just a little bit, and I found a massive, I tell you, Nityananda Chandra and Chapu, these two are like the Wonder Twins.
They're Shastra
These
people.
guys, they just dig into the sacred literature and pull out jewels. Listen to this. This is from the Varaha Purana. If my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of death because of disturbances felt within the body, at that time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to my supreme abode.
Look at that.
Ooh.
See, we don't hear that about the Gyani. We don't hear about that about the Karmi. We don't even hear that about the Ashtanga Yogi.
That's because they're trying to do it. I'm going to arrange my
power.
death. I'm going to arrange my life. I'm going to arrange my power, my potency. No. You make those endeavors, and Krishna's got you. It's like the mother and the child.
Yeah.
The mother's like, oh, you want some water? I'll get you some water. You want some? You're hungry? I hear you crying. Let me get that for you.
Let me get that for you. Here you go.
Here you go. That was beautiful.
Oh, you're dying? You can't remember me? I'll remember you. Don't worry.
How about
I
that?
got you.
Does that work for you?
I got you.
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Oh, Krishna. I hope you guys are with me when I die. Well, not at a Wisdom of Sages retreat, though. Let's not do it there. No.
You just let us know.
Maybe.
We'll arrange it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that would be the best place to die. You'd definitely remember it.
Yep.
Remember that retreat we had and Raghunath died? That was great.
So we'll be returning. You'll be like, we'll be returning your money for the retreat because I'm dying right now.
It could be like, no, it'd be great to leave your body with all the devotees around.
Yeah.
All right, let's not do it this next.
Is that how you
this
want to
next
go,
retreat,
Mary?
it's not going to happen though.
Okay.
No refunds. You should pay more. Yeah, that's what Greg says. You should pay more for that retreat. Come see Raghunath. We got to fill some extra beds. Let's say
Raghunath's going to die this time.
Raghunath's got to die this week. Come see Raghunath die. It'll be great.
I sometimes think you might leave your body during the show when you go into your.
There are sometimes I feel like I'm going to laugh so hard I might die.
Might be good for our ratings. There'd be a lot of people that tuned in.
We'll be watching and we'll try to look into your eyes and see when it's going from like hilarity to like, oh my God, I'm about to die.
He's clutching his heart, and then Mara's there holding the Tulsi plant.
I'm gonna start putting Tulsi in your mouth when you go into this.
I'm choking on the Tulsi, Mara. Wasn't dying. I was just laughing. Okay, let's get serious about this. Mara's got important takeaways to take away with us for the course of the day.
Make your japa prayerful.
Yeah. Yes.
How so? How? But how?
Is that all you can say?
You got to be specific, measurable.
Respect the demigods and worship only Krishna.
Yo, respect.
Yes.
Demigods.
Set your compass by the Bhagavatam, your moral compass. You don't like
Come on, Rogan. Don't get so
compass,
judgmental.
Not judgmental. I'm discerning.
Pray to Mother Earth to offer your steps to the Lord.
Okay.
All right.
Every movement is meant to be an offering.
Every step you take, every move you make.
Recalibrate your brain.
Recalibrate. I like that. That's a great word.
It is. If you have enemies, you're failing at bhakti.
Fail.
Loser.
Bhakti, hashtag bhakti fail. Hashtag bhakti fail.
Krishna has a
We gotta put a more positive spin on that. You maybe like you have more steps to go or something like that.
Yes. Okay. Fail. How about there is no fail?
Yeah. Oh.
There is no.
Bhakti,
So you
there is
can
no
do
fail.
whatever you want.
What if you have enemies?
Then you failed.
But if you're offending pure devotees.
That's not bhakti. That's not bhakti.
Next.
Krishna has special plans for his devotees.
Yeah.
The desire to serve counts.
The desire to serve.
If we want to serve Ram, we're all being embraced.
Oh.
To the degree you meditate on Krishna, he's got your back.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna's got your back. Go.
And
Knit your way back to Godhead.
okay, do that.
Knit ya way back to Godhead, Miss Mara, Miss Malibu, Mara Maharani. Woo! And
And
take that away, people. What a beautiful day it's going to be. 1,001 episodes. You were here. You know, all those people showed up yesterday. It was like 250 people live on Zoom yesterday. That was like the Christians showing up for Christmas.
But where are they today?
Going to church. Where are they today? Are they that serious? No, we don't care. We're happy you were here yesterday. We're happy you're othering it today. But you know what? I'm realizing it's all growing organically. Share this stuff with friends. Share it with friends. People need this stuff right now. You know, there's some people who are writing me like, yeah, I heard you on Joe Rogan. I was like, oh, really? You should listen to Wisdom of the Sages. If you got someone that's writing you, that's sitting on the edge, like, yeah, I'm sort of into this more spiritual things. I'm going to a 12-step meeting. I'm like going back to church. Oh, really? I think you'd like this. Share it with friends. Let this thing grow. Let the love flow. Let the love flow. Like the mountain spring. Let the love flow. Anyway, that's a great song, by the way. I want to thank everybody for joining us. What's going on with me today? I'm losing my marbles. Tomorrow, oh, look. Oh, got some new people signed up here at the end. Tomorrow is a very special day. It's Q&A day, 8 o'clock a.m. It's Sleep-In Saturday. You get to sleep 2 more hours in the morning. For all you people like pushing yourself, gonna get up, gonna wake up. Some of you guys, you can barely wake up, but you do it anyway, and you just keep it blank. You throw a photo of yourself on there, so it appears like you're awake, but we know you're sort of, you got us on. We're up there with your snooze dial. We're like, okay, snooze and Wisdom of the Sages. That's okay. That's okay. Tomorrow you can sleep in a little bit, get a little hot tea in bed, and listen to Wisdom of the Sages. Relax. It's your spiritual morning. It's Saturday morning. I still have to wake up and get ready and stuff like this. Be sharp thinker. You guys can just chill on Saturday. And Sunday, Shubha Vilas. That's going to be good. Make a Spotify transcendental playlist, the go-to list. We actually have some. If you go to Wisdom of the Sages, we've got some Wisdom of the Sages playlists you can go to.